Hello and welcome to another Every Tuesday tutorial. In this week's tutorial, we are going to be creating some winter watercolor gift tags. So we are right in the middle of a winter watercolor stationery series. If you missed the first tutorial on how to create a winter watercolor holiday postcard, I'll link it in the video description below. But what you see in front of you is exactly what we're going to be creating in this tutorial. And I'm also giving you a free gift tags template for Illustrator, which is right here. You will need to be on Illustrator CS3 or newer to open up this file, but then you'll have the template that you need, so we don't have to take too much time building these. I'll show you how to make one of these tags, but these will be all set for you. And the other thing you need to do is pick up some winter watercolors. I do offer a free winter watercolors mini kit, which I will link in the video description, and it's just a small sample of the full kit, which I will also link to. So I'm going to be using elements from both the free mini kit and the full kit in this tutorial, or of course you can use any other winter watercolors you might have. So I've got two colors that we're using right here. That's it, and we can achieve all of these. So I'm going to give you the colors and then we'll get started. So this is the light slate blue. We are working in RGB for this. I mentioned it in the last tutorial, but I'll mention it again here. A lot of home printers and even professional printers are able to achieve a wider gamut of color these days, and RGB will allow you to take advantage of that gamut of color. If you are on an older printer, then just make your document CMYK and you'll be totally fine. I did do a test print on my home printer. It's a very basic printer scanner combo, which I will link to. And I printed these on just regular cardstock and put my settings as photo matte paper, and it came out almost exact to what you see on screen. The colors were really, really close for matching. So if you have a similar printer to the one I'm using, you can use RGB and still get exactly what you see on screen. So just a heads up about that. Okay, so this light slate blue right here is the color build for that. And then we're using a darker blue as well. So that is that color build. Okay, so I'm going to grab these so we can reference them as we work, and come over here into our gift tag template just so we have everything in one place. Let me bring these colors down. And I'm just going to show you really quick how I made these tags. So these tags are the exact same size as a business card, so it's pretty convenient. They are 3.5 inches tall by 2 inches wide. So if you'd like to create your own tags, this is how I did it. I just grabbed my rectangle tool over here, double click, put in 3.5 inches high by 2 inches wide, hit OK. So this is the base of our gift tag. And then what I did was, whoops, let's put on a stroke here so you can see what's going on. All right, so then what I did is, because I'm in Creative Cloud, they have a really, really, really great feature with these live corners that I love. So the first thing that I did was I selected both of these top two corners. So hit A on your keyboard for your direct select tool, and you can click on one and then hold Shift. You can click on the other one, and still holding Shift, just click and drag and pull until it turns red. So it's a perfect half circle right there. And then for these bottom two, I just clicked once using my direct select tool, hold Shift, click on the other one, and then just pull these in just slightly so you have that nice little rounded corner at the bottom, but then a full half circle up at the top. And then I just grabbed my ellipse tool over here and just held Shift to keep it a perfect circle. And then I just center aligned everything like that. So pretty quick and pretty easy. So if you want to adjust your own or make your own, that's how I did these ones. All right, so over here, we're going to start with this one and we're going to build in complexity. So this middle one is probably the easiest one and perfect for beginners. And then we'll move on to this one. And then this one's just a little more complex because we have the most amount of elements in this one. So we're going to start right here. So we're going to start things off by coloring our tag, since this one has a background color. And actually all of these gift tags have the hole punch circle and the tag itself grouped together. So for this one, I'm actually going to ungroup it, and you'll see why in a minute. So I'm just going to hit Command-Shift-G or Control-Shift-G on a PC to ungroup them. Now they're two separate pieces. I'm going to select the gift tag and color it this light slate blue. And now I'm going to go grab my elements. So I'm going to grab this lettering, which is part of the Winter Watercolors kit. And I'm going to grab this leaf element as well. So first, let's grab the lettering. So I'm just going to copy this and paste it in. and scale it up so it kind of bleeds outside of the tag, so it crops it really pretty, but you can still read it, which is really important. And I'm going to color this dark blue. And now I'm going to go File, Place, and grab that leaf element. Okay, so I'm inside my kit. I'm just going to go to Leafy Branches, and it is this one. I'm using the one that has little gold flecks on it though, which is part of the gold category right here. So I'm going to go to Leafy Branches, Gold Leafy number 1, and that is the element we're going to grab. So I'm just going to hit Place and then just click anywhere and bring it down here and then scale it down. I'm holding Shift as I scale just to keep things proportional. And I want to make sure I'm still leaving room for my to and my from on here. So I'm going to knock it down a little bit. All right, so that looks good. So what we need to do is contain our lettering and our watercolor element together inside of our tag shape. So first we want to group these two together. So I'm going to select this one, hold Shift, select my watercolors, and then group them together by hitting Command G or Control G on a PC. And now we need to create a clipping mask. And whenever you mask something into another shape, we are essentially locking these two elements within the shape of our gift tag. That's what I mean by clipping mask. So whenever you do that, you need an additional shape. If we use this shape, it would lock it. I'll show you what happens if we use this shape. First of all, whatever shape you're locking your elements into needs to be on top of those elements. So this would have to be at the very top, and you can just bring it to the front. So you can right click, arrange, bring to front, and then if I just hold Shift and select my elements, right click, make clipping mask, you can see what happens if I don't have a copy of my tag. It locks it into the shape, but then I lose the color of my shape. So we don't want to do that. So I'm going to backtrack a little bit. So in order to solve that problem, we still have these two grouped together, which is really important, but we want a copy of our gift tag so we can keep the color behind it. So we're going to have two gift tags. One's going to work as our clipping mask, and the other one's going to work as our colored tag in the back. So I'm just going to make a copy of this gift tag, Command C or Control C on a PC, and then we need to paste the copy right on top, exactly on top of this one. So we're going to hit Command F or Control F on a PC, and that'll paste it right on top. And now I'm going to hold Shift and select my elements. Everything needs to be selected together, and Illustrator knows that the top element is the shape that you're locking everything inside of. So we do have our gift tag on top, so I can right click, make clipping mask, and now it masks it exactly the way we need it. And just because we have this darker color, now we can make our little hole punch white if we want. So I'm just going to hit I on my keyboard and eyedropper the background white color, and now it looks like a little gift tag. And when you're printing this out, just a hole punch right where the circle is and you'll be all set. So we've got everything in here except for our to and our from. So we're just going to put those in right now, and I'm using my own font called Miss Magnolia for this. So first I'm going to write out to and change this to Miss Magnolia and drop it in here, and this is going to be this dark blue color. And I'm going to reduce the size down to like 9 points. And I'm going to hold Alt, click, and drag, and that'll make a copy. And then I can use my same settings to write out from. All right. So that is gift tag number 1, and if you want, you can group everything together. So if you move anything later on, they will all move together. So I'm just going to select the entire tag, Command G or Control G on a PC, and we've got tag number 1 complete. So we're going to build on what we just did with this tag for the next tag. So first we want to drop in our wreath and color our tag. So once again, we're going to ungroup the whole of the tag with the tag shape just because it'll be easier to color them separately, and we have to take advantage of that clipping mask once again. So I'm going to ungroup, Command Shift G or Control Shift G on a PC, and now these two are separated, and I'm going to click on my gift tag, color it this dark blue, and now I'm going to place this wreath in. So I'm going to go grab that, File, Place. So the wreath is under Arrangements, and it's wreath number 5 right here. So just hit Place, click anywhere, and now we can scale it down. Hold Shift to keep it proportional as you scale. And the goal here is when you're scaling it down, you want a little bit on both sides and you want the top and the bottom to show. So I want it to be as large as I can make it, but I still want the edges to show on the sides. That way it reads as a wreath, even though you don't see the entire wreath edges. Okay, so that looks pretty good and it feels pretty centered as well. All right, now we can go grab our lettering. So this one's going to be the warm wishes. So I'm going to copy that, bring it in, paste it. And you can see I've stacked it right here. So we're going to stack this text. So I'm just going to bring it over here temporarily so I can stack it. So first I need to ungroup it because they're all grouped together. So Command-Shift-G or Control-Shift-G on a PC. And now I'm just going to select just the wishes and group that, Command-G, and then just slide it underneath warm. Let me select warm and group that one and just angle it a little bit differently so it fits nicely together. Maybe reduce the size a little. All right, that feels good. Group everything together. And now I am all set to place it right in here and scale it down. And I'm just going to eyedropper the background color of my paper so it's white and I can see it well. Actually, maybe we made this one the lighter blue. Yeah, we did. Let me eyedropper this lighter blue. It'll match some of the leaves a little bit better. All right. So we can center this right on the tag. So I'm going to select my warm wishes and I'm going to hold Shift and select my tag and then release Shift, and you're just going to click on your tag one more time. And then if you hit this little icon up here for horizontal align center, it will align warm wishes with the placement of the tag. So now it's perfectly centered. So that looks good. Toggle this up a little bit. All right, so now all we need is our to and our from, and we've got a little dotted line right here. So I'm going to type out to, and it's Miss Magnolia once again, just typed in all caps. I'm going to make it the light blue color again. Put it right here. And put from right below it. We're going to reduce the size down to 8 points on this one, but increase the leading over here. So we're just going to toggle this up to about, let's see, let's go to 20. Okay, and then to drop in that dotted line, all you're going to do is hit the backslash key on your keyboard and hold Shift and click and drag, and that will drag out a straight line. And now this needs to be this light color, but it needs to be for the stroke. So click right here for the stroke, hit I on your keyboard, hold Shift, and then click on this color and it will apply it to the stroke. And now you can see we've got the stroke right here. I want the width of the stroke to be just a little bit less than what it is right now. So if you come to your stroke settings over here, you can get to these by going Window, Stroke. You're just going to reduce the weight down to 0.75, and then you're going to apply a rounded cap, a rounded corner. You're going to check dashed line right here, and you want to make your dash 0 points and your gap 3 points, and that will give you circles here instead of lines for your dotted line. If you had a number for your dash, you'll get lines instead. That's what this looks like. So if I have 0, it gives me circles, and however close you want them together will be the gaps. So if I wanted less of a gap, I could just reduce that number and you get more circles that way, but I like having a 3-point gap here. All right, so that's all set, and all we have left to do is to lock this wreath into the shape of our tag. So we're going to do the exact same thing we did over here with our clipping mask. So grab your tag, make a copy of it, Command-C or Control-C on a PC, click anywhere to deselect, and then hit Command-F or Control-F on a PC to paste it exactly in front. Hold Shift, select your wreath, right-click, make clipping mask. And now it's locked in there. And last thing we want to do is just color our little hole punch white. So I'm going to hit I on my keyboard for my eyedropper the paper color, and now it's white. So that one's all set. All right. The last one we have is this joyful one. So we're going to grab our lettering, we're going to put everything in, and then we can apply that clipping mask. But we're applying the clipping mask to multiple items this time, which is why this one's a little bit more complex. So I'm going to go grab the lettering over here for joyful, which is right here. Copy that, paste it in, make it nice and big, but still keep it within the tag. Maybe angle it a little bit. Eyedropper at the light color. And now we're going to go to and from again. We're going to eyedropper this, the dark blue. I'm going to keep this size, but I'm going to increase the leading even more right here. So I'm going to up this to 30. So I got a lot of space right here. Actually, let's go down to 25. I don't think I need that much space. All right, and now we're going to bring in those elements. So we've got a pine element, we've got a berry branch, and then we've got these little gold flecks in here. So there's 3 different elements right there. So I'm going to grab all 3 of them and then we'll arrange them. So I'm going to go File, Place. The pine element that I'm using is this one, this pine number 3. So I'm just going to click anywhere. And then I'm going to grab my berry branch, which is a gold element, which is this one right here. Click into that, and then I'm just going to grab my gold flecks. And the gold flecks I'm using is the gold flecks number 2. Okay, so these are my 3 elements, and now I can start arranging them. So I already know that I want my pine branch to go the opposite direction that it's going right now. So a really easy way to reflect an object is select that object, hit O on your keyboard, click where you want the reflection to occur. So I want it to reflect this way. So I'm just going to click right here, and then I can just grab my element and pull it and it'll reflect it. And if I hold shift, it'll keep it straight. So now I've got it nice and reflected just the way I want it. And now I can reduce the size of it and position it where I want it to go. And now I want to bring my berry branch in. Have that right next to it, and then I want my gold flecks to kind of sit on top of my pine branch. So it kind of looks like snow or festive. All right, so that looks good. So I have all these pieces together. So I want to group them together so I can repeat them up here. So I'm going to select them. And I'm also selecting the tag when I do this, so I'm going to hold shift and then just click the tag to deselect it, and now I can group these. So Command G or Control G on a PC, and now I can hold Alt, click, and drag, and that'll make a copy. And now I can just rotate these around and angle them the way that I want to up here. Okay, so that looks pretty good to me. Might angle this just a little bit more. Zoom out, see what that looks like, and that's looking good. Okay, so we've got multiple elements that we need to apply a clipping mask to since we want these to be nice and clean and locked within our tag shape. So first we want to group these 2 groups together since they're separate right now. So select your first group, hold shift and select your other group, and then group these together. So Command G or Control G on a PC, and now when I click one, they're both selected. Next, we need to ungroup our tag shape from our hole punch like we did in the other ones. So we're just going to select it and then Command Shift G or Control Shift G on a PC to ungroup. Now we're going to make a copy of our tag shape so we can lock our elements within it as a clipping mask. So with your tag shape selected, Command C or Control C on a PC to copy, deselect, and then hit Command F or Control F on a PC to paste it right on top. And now we need to also select our elements that we're going to mask inside of them. So hold shift and click on your elements and then right click, make clipping mask. Sometimes make clipping mask might not appear right here when you have too many elements or if you're on an older version of Illustrator. If you don't see this when you right click, you can also go to Object, Clipping Mask, Make, and you can do it that way as well. Okay, so now it's all locked inside of there, and now we've got our branch overlapping where our hole punch is going to be. We can send these to the back right now. So if I select this, I can hit Command Shift open bracket and that will send them to the back. or I can right click, arrange, send to back, just so I am able to select my circle right here and then eyedropper the background. Or you can just leave it with the stroke on it too if it's hard to see it, because there's more white space on this one than there are in the other tags. But that is all set now. And if you wanted to just use these three, you could just delete the rest of the template, take these and just hold Alt, click and drag, and while you're dragging, hold Shift. And now you've got a copy, and you can fill up a whole page of these and print them out. So once again, I will leave a link in the video description for that printer, for the free Winter Watercolors mini kit, as well as the full kit, and the template, the tag template, so you can follow right along. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please subscribe, and don't forget to head on over to my site, every-tuesday.com, for even more design and lettering tutorials and freebies. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time.